So the FBI just warned that our nuclear arsenal is under threat of attack. Okay, this is huge news, and apparently this has been going on for years. All right, this is a problem that we were told was solved, but it's not solved, and apparently it's affecting us at the highest level, at our nuclear arsenal capabilities level. All right, and the placement of these spyware devices essentially is so suspect, is so intentional. All right, they've potentially been spying on Washington, D.C. as well, and potentially they can disrupt and intercept our nuclear arsenal communications. All right, this is serious news. So Chinese-made Huawei equipment has been branded able to disrupt nuclear arsenal equipment communications. This is extremely serious, extremely threatening to our national security. And if you don't know, Huawei is one of the biggest equipment providers of communications devices for like cell towers and routers. Okay, they make a lot of these things, but there's been a lot of speculation that Huawei is directly infiltrated by the Chinese government. So a lot of their equipment has backdoors for the Chinese government in it, built in. So whatever data or communications are sent through these, these signals, these towers, these routers, they are able to directly access it, apparently. The Chinese government is. So this article goes on to warn us and say, among the most alarming things that the FBI uncovered pertains to Chinese-made Huawei equipment atop cell towers near U.S. military bases in the rural Midwest. This is serious. According to multiple sources familiar with the matter, the FBI determined the equipment was capable of capturing and disrupting highly restrictive Defense Department communications, including those used by U.S. Strategic Command, which oversees the country's nuclear weapons. I know that's a lot, but key things here, this is insane. Capable of capturing and disrupting highly restrictive Defense Department communications. These are like highly classified communications. If you or I accessed any of these communications, we would be facing big trouble. And it also goes on to say, multiple sources familiar with the investigation tell CNN that there's no question the Huawei equipment has the ability to intercept not only commercial cell traffic, so your cell phones. I was thinking about that too. Like, I wonder if, your cell phone's vulnerable if you connect to this tower, and how do you even know? But also highly restricted airwaves used by the military and disrupt critical U.S. Strategic Command communications, giving the Chinese government a potential window into America's nuclear arsenal. This is scary stuff, okay? Communications, data, intel, these are some of the most important things when it comes to, military strategies. Some of the most important things that you do not want to give up. You don't want to give up what you have exactly. You don't want to tell everyone what you have unless you want to strategically tell them to throw them off or to scare them or something like that. So the Chinese government could know before the United States government launches a nuclear weapon. They could know in advance, or they could also use this advantage to disrupt the communications before the Chinese launch. So they could assault the United States communications for nuclear defenses and then launch their own nuclear assault. All right, this is very serious. This is for real. And they were also talking about earlier in the article how potentially these are near Washington, D.C. So they could potentially be intercepting communications from members of Congress, the president, people, Secret Service people. They could be intercepting very high level people's communications. and using that information, you know, to get an advantage, to get ahead. So this is serious. Not only to mention the business implications, China is notorious for stealing our intellectual property theft. They are notorious for that. And they get away with it too. And they could be getting in on industry trade secrets. There could be businesses like, hey, how does China know this? How is China already doing what we're doing? Maybe you're talking on their cell phone tower, their Huawei tower, with your phone, and you don't even know it. And maybe they like know your phone's IP address or something, you know, and they can target you. This has happened. Jeff Bezos' phone got hacked, right? By, I think, like the Saudi government or something. I think the Saudi government hacked Jeff Bezos' phone. Pretty sure that happened. I'll throw up the headline if it happened. And get this, this is a flashback article from December of last year, 2021. And it says, China feared to be hiding missiles and shipping containers for Trojan horse-style plan to launch attack anywhere in the world. All right, so this, when I read this Huawei thing, it reminded me of this because the Huawei is kind of like a Trojan horse too. It's very similar. They're setting up all these points all over the world to literally be able to hack, disrupt, and intercept communications. And this could be the same thing. They're setting up shipping containers all over the world to be able to launch a shipping container attack. All right, this is very serious. They could get very close into ports and destroy ports, shut them down, and that would shut down all exports, imports. This would just make the supply chain crisis even worse. Or they could just get so close inland with a fake ship to hit a major target. And even retired Navy Captain Jim Fannell said a containerized anti-ship missile would add significant threat to the U.S. Navy. Significant threat. Because, yeah, it would only take a couple of these mixed in on a normal ship to cause significant damage. And imagine a whole ship filled with these. Imagine a whole ship would cause massive damage, massive destruction. And this is something where it would be like a surprise attack, and they're just gonna let it loose, right? And this goes hand in hand with the Huawei thing. They would disrupt communications before they launch an attack. And I know this is like, oh, China's gonna launch an attack. This is what we're heading towards. All right, we are in this era, we are in this age. My last video was just warning that AI supercomputer predicts 2023 we will be entering a new, quote, war cycle. A new war cycle. So get prepped now. It's only gonna get worse, all right? Next year is gonna be insane. Get your stuff now before, well, it's still cheap, you know? This is gonna be cheap. You're gonna look back and be like, man, that was cheap. Man, that $5 gas was cheap. That $4.50 gas wasn't that bad. You're gonna look back and think that. Get your iodine now. They keep warning. They keep giving us these nuclear warnings. NYC was warning of a nuclear threat. Now the FBI is warning that our nuclear arsenal could be disrupted. What if they were able to disrupt it so much that they could, like, you know, cause a launch, you know, intercept the communications, get into the system, and trigger something to cause a launch? I don't know if that's possible, but what if, you know? So get your iodine now while you still can. All these things are running out. All these like weird commodities that you need for prepping, they're getting low. They're running out because more people are waking up. More people are seeing what's happening. So spread the word. Don't stop. We need to wake up more people, but also get what you need now before it's too late. So thank you guys so much. Get those chickens, get those preps, get your stuff now, get your bug out bag. If you're in the city, get it now while you still can. Hit that like now while you still can, while the internet's still here. Hit it up, hit the comments up while you still can, and you have a big blessed day. Thank you, y'all.